Hi guys. Okay, so for Scorpio risings, this is your astrology forecast for the month of November. I'm just gonna hit on like the moon cycles. I'm not gonna make it complicated. And then also we'll do a tarot reading as well. This is going to resonate most with like the astrology, especially is for Scorpio risings. It could resonate if you clicked on this video and you felt called to click on this video, then it could resonate for you. So let's just get into that. You have a glow up coming in November. I don't know if you've been feeling that, especially with the eclipse in October on the 14th. It was in your 12th house of mental health and spirituality in your subconscious, which can be a really heavy house to deal with. And then you had a full moon eclipse on the 28th in your 7th house of relationships, whether that's romantic or committed partnerships or both. I feel like you were put through the ringer. Like, those are pretty significant houses that we put a lot of value in, and especially because the 12th house is very heavy. It's your mental health. So I feel like you're really feeling like you are ready for a glow up. Okay, so November 13th, we have a new moon in Scorpio, and it's happening in your first house. Your first house is about self, identity, and body. That's your Scorpio rising. That means your first house is Scorpio, so that's how others view you, because that's how you present, because that's yourself, your identity, and your body. Sometimes I feel like we should go by our rising signs rather than our sun signs. So anyways, this is why you have a huge glow up, because you have that new moon in Scorpio right after eclipse season, and we're in Scorpio season, so the sun is also in this house. And then you have Mars in Scorpio too, and it's making a conjunction with the sun, and this is called a Mars cazimi. So you have Mars and the sun in Scorpio, which is your first house. So you have this new moon, and then Mars comes in, and there's a cazimi, so there's like more energy put in this house for you. So that's just like a lot. That's like amazing. November 27th, you have a full moon in Gemini, which is happening in your 8th house. So your 8th house has to do with like others' assets, or it's like taxes, or like inheritances, or it's collaborations. It also is the house of Scorpio, which you are heavily ruled by Scorpio. So this house also is about like death and rebirth, so transformation. This house also deals with grief. So not saying it's a negative thing. I mean, we all have transits that happen in this house. There's a full moon there, so it's going to be shining light on something that has to do with that, and it could just have to do with like the transformation you've had and this glow up you've had, but I will have guides available because it's going to be specific to everyone. Like individually it's going to be different. There's just a lot of transformation happening for you. The Hanged One just came out, so it's probably really important that you rest a lot. Like, so with the Hanged One, there's a need to like rest. Like, there's a need to like, I feel like you've done so much work and transformation, like spiritually, especially with that eclipse happening in your 12th house. There's definitely a lot of transformation here. And then the Chariot just came out. So there's like this energy of like sitting back and resting to get through this. Like it just, like I said, feels like a lot of transformation and a lot of change. And yeah, again, with the Four of Swords, there's a need to rest. Like, you need to allow yourself to integrate all these new changes. And self-love is probably going to be really important, especially like with all that placement happening in your first house. I feel like you're just like getting this new identity, and like you're coming into this newer identity. I don't know if there was something that happened on the eclipse, the full moon eclipse in your 7th house of relationships. If some of you could have had like a third party like thing going on, like maybe you were in a relationship and it ended because there was a third party involved, or you were dealing with a third party for a really long time. Yeah, it's for some of you, it's definitely going to be that. Like, there's just so much transformation, and just know that you weren't meant to be in that relationship. For others, this could just be like maybe you've been really in hermit mode, or you haven't been like hanging out with friends a lot, and you're more focused on like your self-love and like building that back up and like kind of just like picking yourself back up from all of the change. But with the Death card, you guys have definitely ended something and there's a new beginning happening. I feel like right now you're really focused on your stability, or maybe since like there's been so much going on like emotionally, you are really needing to find balance in giving yourself stability with the Page of Cups in reverse and the King of Pentacles in reverse. And there's something like you're needing clarity on. For some of you, it's that relationship that came to an end. Maybe there was like cheating or lying or something like that. If that resonated, then these two cards are for you. But it's like, it almost feels like the rug was pulled out from under you. There's just a need to really release it. With the Moon in reverse, it's like causing you anxiety. Yeah, there's a need for stability. So like if you need to, you just need to ground yourself. So whether that's getting smoky quartz or that's like going into nature and like spending more time just with yourself and like in the present moment, it's like mentally you need to rest. Like mentally you need to like let things go. I don't know if it's like you're needing to walk away from something, a situation. There's just death and there's transformation and endings and beginnings happening. But in order for you to have this new beginning, you really need to make peace with what wasn't meant for you. And maybe knowing your chart and knowing what was happening, it literally was like written in the stars, like it was meant to happen. It was, especially in eclipse season, it's like you really need to let that be in the past so you can move forward and see like what else there is for you, because that ended for a reason. Let's get clarity and guidance moving forward. Yeah, again with the World card, it's like that cycle needed to come to an end. Like you learned things in that situation. Yeah, I'm getting its relationship. Like whatever happened the 28th, it's you guys, like that was meant to happen and you learned all the lessons and you're needing to now focus on yourself and integrate those lessons so you can take it on with you. What's going on in December for you guys? It's just gonna be a time of like focusing on yourself and focusing on your income and your self-worth. That's really huge. And your spiritual connection. It's almost like mirrored from what went on in October. I feel like right now in November, you're like in that transition period of like picking yourself back up and realizing you're going through an identity shift. And then in December, things start to shift. Like I think new will come in December, but you're needing to apply those lessons and apply boundaries, like emotional boundaries as well, even just like with yourself as far as like self-love. With the Hermit card, there's a need to isolate, and again, it's like something about learning something, like reflecting on what you learned from in that relationship or in the past. I feel like it really took away your confidence. Like the Lovers in reverse and the Empress in reverse, it really feels like the rug was pulled out from under you, and it was like on top of already dealing with like new changes in your mental health and stuff. So just be gentle with yourselves, be easy with yourselves. I feel like the Hanged One came out first for a reason. Like truly give yourself time to heal, but make sure you're making a conscious effort to release what happened in the past. It's like you need to like use this time to, one, integrate those lessons, and two, start figuring out what you really want. So when you feel like you're in a position to manifest, you know what you want, because it's gonna, your desires are gonna come in. There's gonna be new beginnings in your desires and like what you want, and that's the new coming in December. Sagittarius season is going to be a huge shift for you. Let me see what, it's just, there's a lot of shifts happening like mentally and spiritually for you, as far as like your belief system, and then like how you can apply that to manifesting this new era coming in. So I'm really excited for you. Even though you've been through the ringer with eclipse season, it was meant for you though, like totally. Especially we're in Scorpio season, so just be gentle with yourselves. I have guides linked in the description if you feel like you need extra support and figuring out really like getting down to the energetics of these placements. I'll have a new moon, I'll have y'all have a new moon guide and then a full moon guide, and there's always extra support if you wanted to get a tarot reading personally for you. So yeah, but hopefully knowing this information and this reading really helped. So let me know if it resonated, and I'll see you guys next month.